प्रेजेंटेड बाय ईबिक्स कैश। हर खुशी के लिए काफी है।
Hello and welcome. You're with us here on Business Today. I'm Abha Bakaya. Here are the headlines tonight. Fitment Committee proposes raising multiple GST slabs. Sources suggest that they have proposed raising the 5% tax slab to 7% and the 18% slab to 20%. Proposed GST on gold and silver will be hiked to 5%. Markets end a 4-day losing streak. Nifty reclaimed 17,500. Sensex gains nearly 200 points, led by metal, PSU Bank and power stocks. Paytm ends 10% higher. Latent View makes dream debut on Dalal Street. Shares list with 169% premium over issue price of 197 rupees. Voda-Idea follows Bharti Airtel suit, hikes prepaid tariffs by 20 to 25% from November 25th. Another mega Western UP push. Prime Minister Modi to lay the foundation stone of Noida International Airport in Jewar. We'll give you a sneak peek into the massive infra project on the show. And in some late-breaking news, the government has proposed to prohibit all private cryptocurrencies in India. The proposal is part of the Cryptocurrency and Regulation of Official Digital Currency Bill 2021 that has been listed for introduction and passage in the upcoming winter session of Parliament. The bill also proposes to create a facilitative framework for creation of the official digital currency to be issued by the Reserve Bank of India. While seeking to prohibit all private cryptocurrencies, the bill, however, allows for certain exceptions to promote the underlying technology of cryptocurrency and its uses. Indian equity benchmarks, the Sensex and Nifty today breaking that 4-day losing streak, making a comeback. Strength in oil and gas, financials, metal shares leading the rebound. Nifty ending the day up by 0.5% at 17,503 and Sensex settling at 58,664. So that's 0.3% in fact in trade on your screen there. Power Grid, JSW Steel, Coal India, NTPC and Adani Ports, some of the top gainers today. Apart from this, we saw Bharti gaining 2% after brokerages raised their targets following the recent tariff hike. Voda-Idea failed to hold on to gains though following the tariff hike announcement and ended flat. Reliance Industries recovering 3% from its lows, ending about 1% higher. On the other hand, top laggards included Axis Bank, Titan, Asian Paints. Some of these names down over 2%. IndusInd was down 2.5% and Infi was also down close to 2%. Syngene, Thermax, Dr. Lal, InfoEdge, Berger Paints, some of the top losers in the mid-cap basket. Shares of Latent View Analytics today made a strong debut on the exchange, surging to 531 rupees in early trade as compared to the issue price of 197 rupees before closing at 487. The issue was among the most successful ever IPOs in terms of number of times subscribed. It saw an overwhelming response from all categories of investors, getting subscribed 326 times. The retail individual investor segment was subscribed nearly 120 times. The non-institutional investor category had been subscribed a massive 850.6 times, while the portion for qualified institutional buyers or QIBs 145.48 times. Paytm may have recovered a little today with its share up 10% in trade. However, the stock's poor show on the bourses has scared away at least one company for now. Fintech major MobiKwik has confirmed to Business Today's Bisma Malik that it will delay its IPO and correct its pricing. There have been reports that two of its investors, Eastspring Investments and Nomura, have backed out from the public listing. The company has also been in the spotlight over its rising losses and its business of mobile wallets having shrunk over the last several years. MobiKwik, however, said there was no question of cancelling the public issue. A company spokesperson added, MobiKwik was one of the earliest digital payment companies to have filed for an IPO. In July, the payments company filed a prospectus to raise 1,900 crore rupees at $1 billion valuation. The IPO included an OFS component of 400 crore rupees. The new year could bring some financial pain for you, with the government looking at rationalizing GST rates and slabs. This could see a slight restructuring in the current rates. A group of ministers headed by the Karnataka Chief Minister is scheduled to meet on Saturday, 27th November to suggest changes. Sources tell BTTV. We have Mr. Mani, Senior Director at Deloitte India, joining us, and my colleague Karishma, who got us the news, joining us as well. Karishma, what are we expecting when it comes to the slab rates? What kind of restructuring are we looking at in the meeting?
Well, right, the group of ministers that's headed by Karnataka CM will be holding a very important meeting along with the Fitment Committee on Saturday, that is 27th. And the agenda and significance of this meeting is going to be reviewing the current tax slabs rates, and also along with that special rates rationalization measures. In fact, sources from Finance Ministry tell us that government is very keen and looking to merge two tax slab rates, and that they're doing that in order to bring in a totality of 3 tax slab rates, which currently is at 4. Not just this, in fact, recently Revenue Secretary on record to a media agency also told that this is something that they will be looking in because the GST revenues are also doing well. It is on Saturday that the report will be prepared, and post this official meeting, this report will be sent to the GST Council, which is likely to take place in December.
We have MS Mani, Senior Director at Deloitte, joining us on this. Let's go across to him and get a perspective on really why some of these slabs are being re-looked at, what the possible changes are, and the likely implications as well. Mr. Mani?
Okay, so I think at the outset, we need to understand that the rates that we have in GST for various products, we have 3 product category rates today, which are 5, 12, 18 and 28, which is only for certain products.
Sure.
So there is also an exceptional rate, which is 3%, which is in respect of precious metal and gold. So if we look overall, we have 5 different rate slabs, with 3 being the main. These rate slabs were decided when GST was introduced. Subsequently, various products were fitted into each of these slabs. What we have to bear in mind is that today the average rates which were being paid prior to GST have significantly come down. In addition to that, what has also happened is that certain products which are in the 18% slab, such as most of the FMCG products, majority of the consumer durables, etc., are products which to some extent may not necessarily be price elastic.
Sure.
Consequently, when we look at both of these issues together, the need for the government to go ahead and broaden the tax base and increase its collections, and there is a need to rationalize the tax slabs. There is a discussion possibly going on in respect of increasing some of the GST rates. At this stage, we have to bear in mind that increasing the GST rates is not certainly a desirable option or a good option. And that is something which is going to cause a lot of distress to various impacted businesses. The better option could possibly be to rationalize the slabs, and instead of having the 5 rates of 3, 5, 12, 18 and 28, bring it to 3 slabs. See if some of the slabs can be merged. That will make GST simpler and easier to handle as well.
Absolutely, Mr. Mani, and we all know the kind of the kind of reaction the industry usually has to any changes in these tax slabs, even from the advent of GST. Which are some of the segments you feel will be most impacted? You talked about some of those segments not being price elastic. Share with us where you feel, we'll see the maximum resistance really coming in, or the maximum impact.
I don't think the GOM has yet decided in terms of which products are going to be impacted, and if so, what is the quantum of that impact. But at a broad level, when as a country, as a society, we are moving out of the pandemic, there is already a wholesale price inflation which has started rearing its head. Possibly, therefore, at every segment, whether it is FMCG, whether it is durables, whether it is furniture projects, whether it is branded food grains like branded rice and branded wheat and branded atta, all of these are products where the manufacturers will have a difficult time passing it on to the customer. Because bear in mind that since GST is an indirect tax, eventually it is the customer who ends up paying the tax. The manufacturer, the trader, and the retailer are merely the intermediaries from the producer to the consumer. And at each level, therefore, there will be a markup and the price to the customer will increase. Now, since we are all getting out of a very difficult situation, which no one has faced before, this may not be an opportune time for doing any tinkering with the tax rates.
Sure, Mr. Manit, point taken. Thanks so much for joining us. And a question does arise on the timing and perhaps whether or not, it's really going to have the kind of intended impact going forward. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, a day after Airtel hiked its prepaid plans, Voda-Idea has also jumped in to increase its prepaid tariff plans. The company has hiked prepaid tariffs by 20 to 25%, and the new plan will be applicable from November 25th. The lowest plan available on the operator's network will now be priced at 99 rupees instead of 79 rupees earlier. The company said that the new plans will start the process of ARPU improvement and help address financial stress faced by the industry. However, Jio is yet to announce its prepaid plan, which is expected anytime soon. 30 months after the aircraft were grounded after a series of accidents, SpiceJet has put its ultra-modern Boeing 737 MAX fleet back in the air. As a bonus, SpiceJet has announced broadband internet services on all 737 MAX flights by the end of this year. In an exclusive conversation with Business Today TV's Karishma Sadani, SpiceJet chairman Ajay Singh also welcomed the entry of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala into the aviation sector.
You mentioned about your cargo business, and I think that's one important news point I'd like to pick up, that of course SpiceJet is looking to hive off its cargo business. It's been in conversation with equity investors around that. Now the valuation that's being reported is about around 2,500 crore that's being said. Is there an official word on that?
No official word, but the 2,500 crore valuation was the traditional form of accounting. We are looking at a valuation closer to $1.5 billion, closer to 10,000 crores actually, and conversations with investors are around that valuation, people say that look, airlines lost a lot of money during COVID, and of course SpiceJet was one of those that lost a lot of money, but I think what we managed to do is to build a significantly valuable asset, which is worth a lot more than the money that we lost. And in terms of the balance sheet of SpiceJet as well, there's significant restructuring that we are able to do in this period, and you will see a vastly different SpiceJet in the first or second quarter of next year.
And is it going to be red hot and spicy, or more?
It will always be red hot and spicy, ma'am.
It will always be red hot and
always
spicy.
red hot and spicy, but financially on a much stronger footing. I think also with the Boeing compensation behind us, with the new deliveries starting now, I think a lot of positives for SpiceJet.
Right. Agla sawal, Mr. Singh, is for a wider audience also, and market में एक नई airline आ रही है, which is also claiming to be a low-cost airline, which is actually the USP of SpiceJet. तो ये competition कैसे रहने वाला है? Is there a new strategy that you've been building on?
देखिए, aviation services में भारत में तो हमेशा ही competition रहा है. आपको याद होगा कि Jet Airways थी, Kingfisher थी, Air Deccan was there, Paramount, some airlines whose names now I forget, but there were always in India. This has been an extremely competitive space. तो airlines आएंगी, airlines जाएंगी. अब उसमें competition से एक ये फ़ायदा तो होता ही है कि that everybody is forced to innovate. People are forced to cut costs, find new ways to survive, and so that's a positive of competition. लेकिन हमारी आशा यही है कि जो भी नए प्लेयर्स आएँ वो एक रैशनल प्लेयर्स आएँ. एक ऑन वन साइड हम सबको मिलके अपना कॉस्ट कम करना है, एयरलाइंस को अपना कॉस्ट कम करना है, सरकार को हमारे साथ मिलके जो टैक्सेशन आज हमारे ऊपर है, फ्यूल पे हाईएस्ट टैक्सेस इन द वर्ल्ड. एक तरफ कॉस्ट हमारी सबसे ज़्यादा है क्योंकि फ्यूल का दाम वैसे ही बढ़ा हुआ है दुनिया में और उसके ऊपर से टैक्स उस पर ज़्यादा लगता है. उस पर हमें काम करना है और भारत सरकार इस पर काफ़ी काम कर रही है। हमारे जो मंत्री हैं उन्होंने भी कई जैसे स्टेट्स को पत्र लिखकर वैट को कम कराया है। काम तो इस पर हो रहा है, हमें कॉस्ट कम करना है और ये भी देखना है कि जो हमारा किराया है, जो हमारे यील्ड्स हैं, फेयर्स हैं, वो एक रैशनल फेयर्स रहे। तो जो नए प्लेयर्स आ रहे हैं मार्केट में, होपफुली दे विल ऑल बी रैशनल प्लेयर्स। टाटा टेक्स ओवर एयर इंडिया, होपफुली दैट विल बी अ रैशनल प्लेयर लुकिंग फॉर प्रॉफिट। इसी प्रकार से आकाशा या जो भी तो हमेशा से कॉम्पिटिटिव सेक्टर रहा है और कॉम्पिटिटिव रहेगा। होपफुली इट विल बी कॉम्पिटिशन फॉर द गुड।
In other corporate news, Vedanta was rallying in trade today after reports that the company's promoters are looking to raise their stake in the company. Vedanta Netherlands Investments, BV, and Twin Star Holdings are looking to buy up to 17 crore equity shares at 350 rupees for a total valuation of 5,950 crore rupees. ICICI Bank has announced the launch of its new online platform, Trade Emerge. The platform will help facilitating cross-border trade by offering an array of services in a single consolidated place. Nextra by Airtel, a data center subsidiary of Bharti Airtel, has launched its new hyperscale data center park in Chennai. This is Nextra's third large data center in Chennai. Airtel's new data center is integrated with Airtel's global submarine cable network, provides end-to-end secure connectivity solution to its large clients. After reducing excise duty on fuel and a much-needed relief for the Aam Aadmi, the government now plans to release about 5 million barrels of crude oil from its emergency stockpile. The move comes after the US asked some of the world's largest oil-consuming nations, including China, India and Japan, to consider releasing crude stockpiles in a coordinated effort to lower global energy prices. Stocks will be sold to Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals and HPCL. Meanwhile, crude oil prices have slipped below $80 a barrel on the back of countries releasing crude reserves. Preparations are on in full swing for the groundbreaking ceremony of Noida International Airport on November 25th. The airport, which is being touted as the largest airport in Asia, is likely to provide UP the much-needed infra push. Here's a sneak peek into the Jewar airport.
After Purvanchal and Bundelkhand, now it's time for a mega infra push in Western UP ahead of the 2022 UP elections. A small town in Gautam Budh Nagar in UP, Jewar has become the center of several infra projects. A day from now, Prime Minister Modi will lay the foundation stone of the grand Noida International Airport at Jewar. Let's take you on a tour of the airport, which will be constructed by Zurich Airport International AG. To be built at a cost of around 30,000 crore rupees, the Jewar International Airport will be spread across 5,000 hectares. The proposed airport will be developed in 4 phases and will boast of 5 runways. Development of the first phase will cost over 10,050 crore rupees and will serve around 1.2 crore passengers every year. You may be able to take off from the airport as early as 2024. Keeping it with Prime Minister Modi's promise to achieve net zero emissions, it will be India's first net zero emissions airport. The airport is said to be the logistics gateway of northern India. With an aim to boost connectivity, the airport will have the provision of multimodal seamless connectivity. The transit hub will house metro and high-speed rail stations, taxi and bus services. In order to ensure speedy transit, all major expressways will be connected to the airport. The airport is strategically located to serve the people of Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, Aligarh, Agra, Faridabad and neighbouring areas. With an aim to boost infrastructure growth and rapid industrial development in Uttar Pradesh, the authorities have earmarked land for different purposes around the airport area. This includes about 6,000 acres for housing societies, 2,700 acres for institutions, 6,000 acres for industry, and 1,000 acres for a film city.
With commissioning of Film City, Toy City, Electronic City and many other such multi-crore investment, this area is likely to create 4 to 5 lakh jobs. Experts claim that these jobs will be created once the airport is completely functional. With camera person Shagun for Business Today, this is Abhishek Anand.
And as we go on a break, we leave you with the images of a revamped Audi Q5 launched in India today. The facelift brings the model back to India a year after it was discontinued due to BS6 emission norms. The price of the model begins at 59 lakh rupees and it sports a 2-litre petrol churning out 249 horsepower. The SUV will compete against Mercedes GLC, BMW X3, Land Rover Discovery Sport and the Volvo XC60.